At the end of the Mahabharata, Gandhari faced great loss and pain due to the death of her sons. She believed that Lord Krishna, with his divine powers, could have stopped the war but chose not to. In her grief, she cursed Krishna, saying that after 36 years, he and his Yadu dynasty would destroy each other, and Dwarka would sink into the sea. Time passed, and after 36 years, Gandhari's curse began to take effect. A dispute arose among the Yadavas, and they started killing each other, leading to the destruction of Dwarka, which eventually drowned in the sea. One day, Lord Krishna was lying under a tree by the river. At the same time, a hunter named Jara mistook Krishna's glowing red foot for a deer and shot a deadly arrow. When he realized he had shot Lord Krishna, Jara felt deep sorrow and regret. He begged for forgiveness, saying, "O Lord, please forgive me for this great sin. Even the death penalty would be less for such a mistake." But Krishna consoled him, saying, "Jara, you have committed no crime. In the Treta Yuga, you were the monkey king Bali, whom I killed by hiding behind a tree, which was against the rules of battle. My death was destined to come at your hands to free you from that guilt." With these words, Lord Krishna departed from the material world. Sad and repentant, Jara went to Arjun and told him what had happened. Arjun, filled with grief, performed Lord Krishna's last rites. His entire body turned to ashes, except for his heart, which remained alive and divine. Arjun placed the heart on a wooden plank and set it afloat in the river. The heart drifted along the river and eventually reached the coast of Orissa. There, it was found by a tribal chief named Biswa Basu, who noticed the divine glow coming from it. Recognizing its divinity, Biswa Basu worshipped it as Neela Madhava in a hidden cave. Only the tribal community knew about this. At that time, there was a king named Indradyumna in Avanti. He was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu and was always eager to see the divine deity. One day, a wandering sage came to his palace and told him, "In Orissa, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in the grand form of Neela Madhava. You must find the exact location of this holy place." King Indradyumna was delighted and immediately sent his priest, Vidyapati, to search for Neela Madhava. After a long and difficult journey, Vidyapati reached Orissa and learned from secret sources that the leader of the Sabra tribe worshipped Neela Madhava in a hidden cave. Vidyapati traveled to the forest on the banks of the Mahanadi river, where King Biswa Basu welcomed him. Vidyapati asked Biswa Basu, "Sir, please show me the place of divine worship. I have come here with great faith." But Biswa Basu refused, saying, "I cannot take you there." Determined, Vidyapati stayed in the village. Soon, he fell in love with Biswa Basu's daughter, Lalita, and married her. After their marriage, Vidyapati asked his wife, Lalita, "Can you ask your father to show us a glimpse of Neela Madhava? He won't refuse your request." Lalita agreed and spoke to her father, who finally agreed with one condition: Vidyapati would have to go blindfolded. Vidyapati accepted the condition but cleverly took some mustard seeds with him and dropped them along the path to remember the way to the hidden cave. Upon reaching the cave, Vidyapati saw the divine image of Neela Madhava and was mesmerized. When Vidyapati returned, he told King Indradyumna everything. A few months later, the mustard seeds that Vidyapati had dropped on the way sprouted into plants. The king and Vidyapati followed the mustard plants to the cave, but when they arrived, the idol of Neela Madhava was gone. Disheartened, King Indradyumna returned to his palace. That night, Lord Vishnu appeared in the king's dream and said, "I will not appear to you as Neela Madhava. Go to the seashore, where a fragrant red wooden log will float to shore. This log will bear the symbols of the conch, discus, mace, and lotus. Retrieve the log and carve 3 idols from it, then you can worship me." Following this message, King Indradyumna reached the beach at Puri, where he found the floating log. However, despite countless efforts, no one could lift the log. Finally, with the help of the tribal chief, the log was brought to the palace. But no skilled artisan could carve idols from the log. The wood was so strong that no tools could cut it. Once again, Lord Vishnu appeared in the king's dream and advised him to pray to Vishwakarma, the divine architect. The king followed this advice, and Vishwakarma appeared in the form of an old man. He agreed to carve the idols but under the condition that he would work in a closed room for 21 days, and no one should open the door before the time was up. The king agreed to the terms. Vishwakarma started his work, and for 15 days, the sound of saws and hammers could be heard. But after that, all sound stopped. Worried, the queen urged the king to open the door early, fearing the old man might have died of hunger. Reluctantly, the king opened the door, only to find that Vishwakarma had disappeared, leaving behind 3 incomplete idols. The king was sad for breaking the condition, which is why the hands and feet of Lord Jagannath are incomplete. When the king approached the incomplete idol of Lord Jagannath, he heard a heartbeat. it was revealed that the divine heart of Lord Krishna resided inside the idol. King Indradyumna installed these idols, which are now worshipped as Lord Jagannath, Lord Balabhadra, and Goddess Subhadra. Lord Jagannath is considered the only living deity in the world, who listens to, understands, and fulfills the wishes of his devotees. Curious to uncover more divine mysteries? Subscribe now and join us on a journey through the spiritual and mystical stories.